All right, welcome everyone. Today we're diving into a teaching from the Zohar that is so profound, so deep, it's basically hidden in plain sight. It all kicks off with what looks like a simple story about a well, but trust me, as we're about to see, this isn't just about a well, it's a blueprint for creation itself, a map for completion, and it might just change the way you see reality. Let's get into it.
So the Zohar, the master text of all Kabbalah, starts its whole commentary here with a really simple act. It just counts. It looks at the story of Jacob arriving in Haran and says, hey, wait a minute, the word well shows up 7 times here. Now, in a sacred text, there are no accidents. There are no coincidences. Every single word, every repetition is intentional. This isn't just some minor literary detail. It's a cosmic breadcrumb, and it's leading us somewhere big. And right away, the mystery gets even deeper. The Zohar immediately contrasts Jacob's well with the one Moses finds later on, which is only mentioned one single time. So you've got this 7-to-1 ratio staring you in the face. Why? Why the constant repetition for Jacob, and this stark, singular mention for Moses? This is a huge clue that we're not just talking about 2 different wells. We're talking about 2 different modes of reality, 2 different operating systems for consciousness. Answering this is the key to the whole thing. So here's our roadmap for this journey. First, we're going to dig into this strange anomaly in the text. Then we'll crack the code of the number 7. After that, we'll reveal what the well really is, a cosmic system. Then we'll look at the actual engineering blueprint for how it's built. From there, we'll finally understand the crucial difference between Jacob the builder and Moses the user. And we'll wrap it all up by seeing how this ancient blueprint is a pattern for completion you can use in your own life. Okay, let's start with a foundational rule for reading a text like the Torah. Repetition is never, ever accidental. It's a form of divine emphasis. It's like the universe is taking a giant glowing highlighter and saying, hey, you, look closer at this. So 7 mentions of a single well isn't just lazy writing. It's a signal pointing to a hidden structure underneath the surface. Now, to understand that structure, you've got to put on a different set of glasses. In Kabbalah, numbers are not about counting things. They represent qualities, core ideas. Each number has its own unique energetic signature, its own metaphysical DNA. You could say they are the source code for reality itself. And if we want to understand this system, we have to learn the language of that code. All right, so let's do it. Let's crack the code of the number that started this whole investigation, 7. This number is the key, and once we turn it, it's going to unlock the entire passage and reveal the very architecture of completion. In Hebrew, the clues are right there in the language. The word for 7, sheva, shares the exact same root as the word for an oath, shavua. You hear that? Sheva, shavua. That's not a coincidence. It tells us that the number 7 is fundamentally tied to the idea of a stable, covenanted, complete structure. Think about it. An oath, a shavua, takes something from being just an idea and makes it real and binding. Well, the number 7, sheva, signifies a process that has been brought to its full, complete, and stable reality. Just like the 7 days of the week, it's a finished, perfect system. So now we move from cracking the code to looking at the cosmic architecture it reveals. We're about to discover what the well truly represents. And let me tell you, it's not just a hole in the ground for getting water. It is a symbol for a fundamental dimension of all reality. This is our first peek into what you might call cosmic engineering. To get this, we need a quick primer on a core Kabbalistic idea, the Sephirot. The Sephirot are the 10 fundamental channels, or you could say dimensions, through which the infinite, unknowable God energy flows down and creates our entire universe. Think of them like the primary colors of God's consciousness, or the divine attributes that form the building blocks of literally everything that exists. Now, out of these 10 Sephirot, we're zooming in on the final one, the 10th one, Malchut. It literally means kingdom. Malchut is the culmination of all the others. It's the dimension where all that divine potential becomes actual, tangible reality. It is our physical world, and its main job is to be a vessel, a perfect container for all the divine energy flowing down from the 9 Sephirot above it. It has nothing of its own. Its whole identity is to perfectly receive. And this right here is the first massive revelation of this whole teaching. The Zohar just drops it on us. Jacob's well is a physical symbol for the cosmic reality of Malchut. It's a perfect metaphor. A well is a vessel in the earth that receives life-giving water from a hidden source above.
Malchut is the cosmic vessel in our reality that receives divine energy from hidden spiritual sources. The well isn't just like Malchut. On a much deeper level, the Zohar is telling us it is Malchut. So if the well is Malchut, that changes everything. Now we can go from just identifying the well to understanding its construction. The 7 mentions aren't just descriptions anymore, they are the 7 steps of its assembly. We are looking at a divine engineering blueprint, step by step.
So why 7 steps? Well, because this ultimate vessel, Malchut, is built by receiving inflow from the 7 lower Sephirot. Kabbalah breaks the 10 Sephirot down. The top 3 are like the mind, and the next 7 are like the body, all the emotional and active attributes. So Malchut is completed by integrating the input from the 6 Sephirot right above it, with its own final emergence being the 7th and final stage.
And this is the process. This is the 6+1 formula for completion. You can really think of it as building a divine interface. The mystics actually align these energies with directions. Malchut, the well, first receives from the south. That's the Sephirah of Chesed. Think of it as a pure white light of unbounded kindness pouring in. Then, to balance it, it receives from the north, which is Gevurah, a powerful, structured red light of strength and discipline. Then, from the east, Tiferet, which is harmony. From the west, Yesod, which funnels all the energies together. And it also receives from above and below. Those are the 6 distinct inputs, the 6 stages of construction. And the 7th, final step? That's Malchut itself, the well, coming fully online as an integrated, stable system. The 7 mentions in the Torah are literally walking us through this 7-stage build. It's incredible.
And this cosmic blueprint, it brings us right back to our original question and just solves it perfectly. Why 7 steps for Jacob, but only 1 for Moses? Because they represent 2 totally different relationships to this divine system. They're operating on 2 completely different levels of reality. Jacob is the engineer. He's the builder. The Zohar explains that his consciousness is still deeply involved in the messy, hands-on process of building and refining the world of action. He's constructing the interface between heaven and earth, step by painstaking step. That's why the Torah shows us all 7 stages of the build. Okay, for all you gamers out there, think of Jacob as the player who has to grind through 7 really challenging levels to unlock the well's full power. Each level adds a new ability. Now Moses, he's the user. His consciousness is operating from a much higher, more integrated level. He arrives on the scene after the system is fully built, debugged, and running perfectly. He doesn't need to see the installation process. He has root access. So he makes one single unified call to a complete system, and it responds instantly. 1 mention is all that's needed. It's just a totally different paradigm. So you see this deep dive into just a few verses of Torah. It reveals so much more than an ancient mystical lesson. It reveals a universal pattern. This 7-fold structure for completion is woven into the very fabric of our reality. And once you see it, you start seeing it everywhere. I mean, just look at the creation of the world itself. It's a 6+1 process. 6 distinct days of creation, those are the inputs, followed by a 7th day, Shabbat, which doesn't add something new but integrates and completes the whole week. We see this pattern in the 7 notes of a musical scale, the 7 colors of the rainbow emerging from one beam of light. This 6+1 structure is the fundamental blueprint for bringing anything from potential to reality. It's the journey of every single project, every creative work, every path of personal growth. 6 stages of input and work, followed by a 7th of rest, integration, and completion. So what's the bottom line here? What have we uncovered? First, that numbers in the Torah aren't just for counting. They're a code for deep structures of reality. Second, that the physical world we see around us mirrors these metaphysical systems. A simple well reflects the cosmic dimension of Malchut. Third, we've learned that true completion is always a 7-stage process, 6 stages of building an input, and a 7th of integration. And finally, that our level of consciousness determines how we interact with reality, whether we're builders like Jacob, patiently working through each step, or users like Moses, with direct access to a finished system. And this leaves us with one final, provocative question to think about. If this 7-step process is the universal blueprint for bringing anything to life, a business, a relationship, a work of art, a personal transformation, take a look at your own life right now. Where are you in that process? What in your life is just at step 1, just beginning to receive its first flow of energy? And what have you brought all the way to step 7, to that beautiful state of stable, integrated completion? The blueprint, well, it's in your hands now. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the parties. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week.
If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.